This is Boomer TV, and you're watching Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess with Gene Pietragallo, Hollywood actor, producer who shares his life lessons about getting rid of addictions and unnecessary and useless baggage. He asks, who says you can't? His message is, do something you've never done before. Revitalize your spirit. You are watching Boomer TV. Join us at bloomerboomer.com and be part of this amazing community of people over 55. And now, here's Gene.
Hey, Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Gene.
I'm just Bloomer Boomers. How are you guys today? I hope everybody out there in Boomer land is having a good day. I'm having a good day. I kind of a little bit of a retrospective day, but also a day to for me to realize and see change and see a lot of things. Let me just tell you, first of all, like I said, hi, because now I get the bug out. We're Boomer. See, I couldn't do it. Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers. So, Bloomer Boomers. I'm Gene Pietragallo. I'm an actor, I'm a producer, I've done a bunch of live TV things, and I don't know what else I do, but sometimes I sing. But when I talk to you today, when I talk to you here at the Bloomer Boomer Network, with all these wonderful people over 55 that Andy put together, I talk to you here about maybe some hope, some shelter from the storm, some inspiration for the isolation we've all been put through over these last few months. But forget the last few months, it happens every day. But and I mean that about our isolation and having to shelter in place and be alone in our homes and all the other stuff that's been going on for months. And it takes a toll on us. It also takes a toll on us if when we're doing that kind of stuff, we use other substances or things maybe that aren't good for us, and we drink too much, we take too many pills, or we do drugs, we OD on coffee or food. So I'm here to tell you that there's a way to get off the couch. There's a way to revitalize your life. There's a way to make this last part of our life count. For me now, as a boomer, but I'm here on bloomerboomer.com. I can tell you that it's almost like, is 60 years old? No, it's not old at all. There's a whole nother adventure in front of me. If I broke my life into thirds now, it'd be 30 to 60 and 60 to 90. There's no reason to slow down. So we've been kind of preconditioned to do that. You hit 65 and you retire, you do this. People stay and work a lot longer, but we're supposed to kind of slow it down. Well, why do we have to? And why should we? And if we're not ready to, why do we have to? We shouldn't. This show is about realizing that all the time we've spent thinking about how depressing it is to get old is really a waste of time. And we need to be able to pick ourselves up and do some things to help each other. I am speaking from experience. I will tell you that I feared getting old because I didn't think I did enough. And I spent a lot of time thinking about that, so much time that I almost drank myself to death. So I don't want this to turn sour on you, because it's not. I'm sitting here today, and this is the Bloomer Boomer headquarters on the West Coast. We're down in the desert. Andy's up at the state capitol, so he can stay close to what's happening in politics. But me, I'm in the desert. And in the desert, we look to revive ourselves. We look for recovery, and we look for rejuvenation. We look to bring things into perspective and know that life is far from over. Like my favorite poet, Dylan Thomas, once said, do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rage at the end of the day. Rage against the dying of the light. So this light isn't dying, man. It's not dying when you're 60, you're 70, you're 80. It's bright light with a lot of filament left and a lot more hours of lamp time. Um, my revelation today is that I am 5 years sober today. That's right. So show and tell class. I want you to know that I got this card from someone that I love very much, and I'm pretty lucky that they love me. So I'm not going to tell you what it says inside. It's it's all proper and broadcast quality, but it's private. So 5 years sober. What did that do? Wow, changed my life. Okay, and there's it was just my road. Okay, it could be because you're doing whatever you're doing. You could just suffer from depression that's caused by nothing else. You could have eaten yourself into obesity and feel like that's the worthless cause. You could have needed a very necessary operation and done too many pills, and somehow they're just lingering and bringing you down. Well, you can get out of it all. Why? I'm telling you why. See that? See that? Because did I mention I hadn't had a drink in 5 years? That's 1,825 days. And just because I want to make sure that I really am telling the truth about that, I probably I know for a matter of fact, well, I haven't had a drink in 1,827 days. So how did I do that? Well, I had to. Okay. And like a lot of you, I'm pretty stubborn, and I wrung it out till it was rot out. I had to quit or die. That is not the road to take. And it's not the road to be able to sit around and be smiling about it 5 years later. But what did I do? What do you need to do in any case when you're in trouble? Well, it doesn't matter what it is. And it's one of the hardest things in the world to do, but I did it. And honestly, I actually said those words, 3 words. I need help. I need help. The way I was in my particular obsession or illness, addiction, physically, mentally, that's what alcohol does. That's how everyone around me, that's how my role models rolled. Everybody drank. Everybody drank to maybe in those days you never saw it get as bad as it did. I don't remember anyone I knew that would sit up and drink alone at night like I did. Maybe they did. I was younger and I didn't know all about all that stuff. But I know that anybody that I watched or thought was out of control with alcohol, I should never have even have looked at it. I should have looked at it as what was to come, because I became every person that you've ever seen that was out of control on alcohol, that you weren't sure what to make of them. And it tore me apart. It tore apart my relationships. It tore apart my family. It tore apart my kids. And it tore me apart too. And it was really hard to shake. So this probably represents 30 years. 30 years of knowing I needed to quit before that number 5 is there. 30 years. Okay. 25, and you can add the 5. But there's been a lot of years that I knew that I couldn't drink, and I couldn't drink properly. I couldn't drink the way people do in movies. I couldn't drink the way people do in anything, in magazines and videos and all the slick advertising. It did not make me slick, cool, and hip. Alcohol did not make me slick, cool, and hip. But when I drank too much of it, I was delusional enough to believe that I was, and that was probably in the most bombastic, boring, embarrassing ways, because uh, my kryptonite was something that is loud, it's embarrassing, it's destructive, and it's considered a secret, a secret. People try to keep it a secret. It's considered a disease. It's a real disease recognized by the American Medical Association. But indifferent than all the other diseases, all the horrid diseases out there, this one, boy, we, like I said, we talk too loud and we make scenes and we do things. And sometimes we tell people when they ask in particular why you did that, we actually tell them we blacked out. That's our excuse. We blacked out, so I just don't remember because I'm a blackout drinker. Right? That's pretty bad because the normal thinking person is like, come on, that's not true. Well, it is. And when you put ethanol in your system, as I did every single day, it does weird things to your mind. It does weird things to your body. It changes everything about you. And the thing is with, I think, anything that creeps into your body, the outcome when it's revealed seems as though it was overnight, but the process took years to get to that ugly moment. That moment of truth where, live or die, it's in the open. There's no more secrets that, continuing on that path, my light would go out. So what did I do? Let's remember that. I asked for help. It's all you ever hear about. Ask for help, ask for help, help. It's one of the hardest things in the world. We're taught to be self-sufficient and independent and, something like, I drink too much. It seemed weak for me to admit that. But the light was getting dim for me, as in my favorite poem. And I was raging against the dying of the light. I saw I was losing it all. And I was far from being a senior citizen when I saw that was going down. Anyway, well, not really legally a senior citizen yet, I guess. That's neither here nor there. I asked for help. Holy cow. If you ask for help, people will help you. And I wanted to let it be known so badly. It was my own terrible, worst secret. And my drinking became completely out of my own control. Once again, unless you know it, like millions of people know what the clutches of addiction are, that once it's in you're in its clutches, you don't have any control. And try your best to stay sober, and for some mystical way, you're drunk. Then it gets worse, and you have to get drunk because you need to pass out because the pain is so bad. And sobering up could mean convulsions or tremendous sickness. So I did all that in secret until I asked for help. All of it I did in secret. Spent as much time as possible alone, and that was because I was too sick to be around other people. Or once, and as soon as I achieved that level of fog that alcohol, which for me is poison, provided me, I couldn't be around anybody else. And once again, then everything else starts happening. Other things start making you crazy. Well, when you ask for help, no matter what it is, you realize you're not alone. There's a guy, that guy is look at that guy. He's so together and he's dressed well. Yeah, look, he's got a car without a bunch of dings and bangs and stuff in it that most of us alcoholics acquire because, we bump into things when we drive. So by the grace of God, I didn't ever cause anybody physical damage, but I was certainly a danger to others when I was out there. So this community surrounds you. This community of people just like you guys out there and me, and do things that you never thought anyone would do for you, like they actually care. On top of that they actually care, they understand you. So for my addiction, and that's what I talk about. Why am I talking about it? Because it's everywhere now. It's everywhere. The opioid pandemic, the alcohol is don't fact check me, but the numbers are just staggering of the alcohol intake increase since what we've been going through here in our country and throughout the world since last March, and now, can it get any worse? Can it get more dramatic? Can it get, yeah, I guess so. We keep going to the well, and there's a lot of people out there that need help, and politically they keep just fighting over getting you some help out there. So it's frustrating as all get out. But, when you ask for help, and that you're not alone, it gives you the confidence and it gives you the hope, because you're hopeless and you just addiction takes away your motivation. And if you're a motivated person that really, really has goals and is wants to be an achiever in whatever way, and I thought it wasn't, for me, achieving was because it was something I wanted to do. And as long as I did the best and was good at it, thank God that I liked the whole exercise of trying and working hard. Those all became things I couldn't do anymore. So I realized medically, physically, mentally, that I didn't have, which I thought I did, was diabetes, and I didn't have all the other medical problems I thought I had, including ridiculous panic attacks that I would go to the hospital and was convinced that I had a heart attack, and they told me it was that, but it certainly wasn't from that. It was from my alcohol, or maybe I was coming off the alcohol. Either way, it took my life apart until I finally sat at a business meeting one day, knowing that I was sick, but my hand wouldn't stop shaking. I was pretty good at my job, and that person, I don't even remember who, was coming to meet me, and I couldn't hold a water glass. So the jig was up. Well, was it? And that's the problem with addiction. Until we have it ourselves, until we ask for help, the jig isn't up. It's your own little secret. And I didn't ask for help for a lot of years. After that incident with the glass, I asked for help, and I went away for a bit after my hand started shaking with the glass to a really fancy rehab. I loved it there. I could have lived there, but my family life was such that my significant other was not interested in quitting drinking. So it was a wonderful time. It was a time of freedom. It was a time that I could tell that being sober really agreed with me. But I'm here to tell you that that five that number right there did not happen. It was 21 years ago, about 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I left rehab, and I did not stop drinking until 2015. So in 2000, I had to stay and put a quick fix on my problem, if you will, and it didn't fit into the lifestyle that my family was living, and I was really on it alone. I didn't have anybody that said, I'm on it with you. I think you're right. I think that you shouldn't drink. I think that this should be something that's this important to our family. That didn't work. So I sit here now 20 years later, and I'm 5 years sober. So when we're sitting on the couch and you're not an alcoholic like me, or you're depressed, or you're overweight, or you have these other problems, one of the things we think about a lot is, why didn't I do something about this before? Why did I waste all that time? Why did I, what's wrong with me? And now am I too old to do anything about it? So that's more about what we're talking about here. Okay. Number one, you're not too old to do anything about it. You're not too old to do anything that's bad for you, as long as you're taking a breath, you know. Um, but a lot of these problems are physical and mental problems. So you can fix the physical. There's a lot of mental things that need to go on. And that happens when you actually put some space between yourself and that pill, that fix, that drug, that drink, that anything. And we were saying recently, in the addiction business, the only thing that gets cured are hams. People don't get cured. I'm not sure if I made that up or somebody else did, but anyway, it's a lifelong process. If you have a heart condition, or you have cancer, or you have any other type of devastating disease, the affliction is yours for your life. So when I discovered that I was in fact a full-blown alcoholic, I also got a gift of knowing that this would be with me for the rest of my life unless I did the work to stay off that addiction and to stay off what activates my addiction, which is drinking. No different from anyone else that needs medication for their addiction. So, we're all stubborn in our ways, but I managed to with a lot of help, and personal desperation. That all embarrassment, all feelings of shortcomings or anything were out the window. Okay, I mean, if I wanted to be, a father to my son and daughters, if I wanted to be a good son, if I wanted to have a healthy, real relationship, it wasn't going to happen. Swilling vodka. So, and when you begin something like that, in the process, I had a bunch of other problems. So you don't have to be a old brown water guzzler. Some new term I heard recently. I was a clear guzzler. I drank a vodka once I needed to find the quickest way to inebriate myself. But you can have any other kind of problem, and it takes time. And when you commit to something, it hurts at first, like quitting smoking. I have a friend right now just quitting, and he's 50, early 50s. He's quitting 3-pack of cigarette a day habit. Aside from the fact that he'll be putting $1,000 a month cash in his pocket, can you imagine? I do. I used to smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. and he's taken it on the same way I had to take on, quitting drinking, or you have to take on weight loss or anything else. In the process, I also lost uh, close to 100 pounds. Um, so I guess, and it sounds kind of corny, but I'm a guy just like a lot of you, was raised in a working class steel town in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with really great, wonderful people that by the way, would help you if you asked. But I grew up to be a tremendous addict. So we all grow up and we have some things, and then we tend to think when we get a little older that it's too late. So that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Is today I'm letting you know that it's possible. Uh, Man, I didn't think it was, and for so long I didn't, and I lived without hope, and you get that hope back, and then when you hope, you breathe life into yourself, and you can start to dream again. And when you dream, you can do anything in your dreams, and you can fly. Some people can fly in their dreams. I want to keep flying in my dreams, and I learned how strong the human spirit is. I learned that I was a better person than I thought I was all those years that I was depressed about an addiction that I thought I could do nothing about. Nothing changed. I didn't turn into Superman. I didn't get any smarter or anything else. But I don't sit on the couch anymore. I don't get happy when the seasons change and it gets dark earlier so that I can drink easier in the cover of darkness. There is a way out. There is a way out. And maybe as we get to know each other here on Bloomer Boomer, maybe I can make that time of suffering for you a little shorter than it was for me. You see, because the one thing I was taught is to get the gift of freedom that comes, from getting freed from addiction. Like I said, that you're never cured, but to get that gift because you asked for help, because people helped you. Then you only have one thing you really have to do in return. And that thing in return is, with your heart and with honesty and with humility, help other people. So if it's not you that's sitting on the couch or you happen to be hearing this, then you know that you could tell your friend there's someone like them that is not as depressed, not as dependent upon drugs and alcohol and everything else because they asked for help. So 1,827 days since I asked for help, I'm sitting here and boy, things are looking a lot better than they did 5 years ago. And you know what? I'm dreaming. I have goals. I'm hopeful, and this is the life I want to live. I want to keep flying. So let's fly together. You're not alone. We're working things out that there's gonna be it's a new time for me on Fridays, but I'm gonna be around here. I love working with Andy and the Bloomer Boomer Network, and hopefully we can start interacting. You can have my website, my Gmail, and other ways to contact me, of course, through this network as well. So I just wanted to share with you that anyone could turn their life around at any age. So it's Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, an enlightening weekend, a joyous weekend, just a hanging out weekend. And if you need any help, please feel free to contact me. Andy, if you're out there, if there's anybody that had any questions, I'd love to take them.
Hey, Gene, congratulations. 5 years. That's fantastic.
That's what that says.
5 years.
Yes, yes.
That's
5
fantastic.
years.
Well, look at we from Facebook and YouTube. We have some questions. We're going to set up a better link where people can contact with questions. But anyway, I've got one here from Jenny. And she's been divorced now for 35 years. She has a new boyfriend, and she discovered later that he's drinking a little too much for her, I guess. And she just says, "What do you think is the best thing to do about it?"
Well, I'm not Dr. Laura. Get rid of him. You don't have to get rid of him. But if if she really likes the guy a lot, it's nobody invents stuff. We all regurgitate things we've learned. Be honest. Honesty is the best policy. If you like this guy and you think you have a future, and he's that bad or just not to your liking the way he drinks, fine. But if he could use the help and you care for him that much, then see if you can.
This falls a little bit out of your area, but it has to do with gambling. Ralph says he's retired.
How do you know?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. That. Yeah, you're right. He says
just be leaving here and going to the crap table.
He says he loves to gamble. He says that his wife complains he does it too much, and he just kind of wanted to know what you thought about it.
Okay, well, I really will. All kidding aside, Andy, is say gambling. If anybody doesn't know that, I'm sure people do, but gambling is wicked in addiction as alcohol or any drug or anything or any food obsession. Gambling's a real tough one to kick. I have a good friend that has done that. A few guys that I know that have done that, but it's with equal vigor and asking for help as it is for anything else. Gambling's for real. So do something before it gets out of hand. I know people that that I personally know that have lost homes, lost ridiculous amounts of money, and the same thing. Once the addiction kicks in, you ask them how that happened, and they really, say, I don't know. I plan on not going, and I magically end up at the casino. So it's a big problem.
Listen, we're a little over the time we promised. So,
Andy, can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, please.
All right.
Please. Oh, hey, I'm looking forward to this. Oh, look at that. There's Boomer. I love him.
Right. This is one of the joys of not drinking. There's a real good chance I won't hurt the dog. No.
Oh man, how old is Boomer right now?
We're not quite sure because Boomer was adopted, but he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And really is his name really is Boomer.
Oh, fantastic.
Do that, and just wanted to. Boomer was hoping to say hi. He's a little tired.
Yeah, he had a little nap. Yeah, dogs
we've been partying. We've been partying here for my 5 years.
For sure.
Which involves a lot of sugar. Anyway, there's Boomer.
I love it.
See all you boomers soon.
Absolutely. Hey, Gene, thanks again. It was great seeing you, and we'll see you next time.
Always great talking to you, Andy. You have a great weekend. See you, boomers.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, thank you again, Gene Pietragallo. Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess. And join us every week at bloomerboomer.com and be part of this amazing community of folks over 55. See you next time. Gene will be back then.